good evening. How are you? See the little, right, little floof. Oh, hang on. There we go. Little floof ball. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Hi, Alison. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Julie. Hi, Caroline. How are you all? It's been lovely to see all your work. Do you know what? I'm a bit worried I'm not going to manage tonight. I knew the voice was a bit dodgy, but as soon as I started speaking there, I can feel it going. But we will try and keep going tonight. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, as I was saying, it's been so nice. We've had lots of lovely shares from Pauline. Hi, Tracy. How are you? And Caroline shared some gorgeous makes as well in the Facebook group. So thank you so much. It's been absolutely lovely seeing what you're doing with the gorgeous dragons. We are going to play with them today. I have the supplies out that I plan to use. That's about as prepped as I am. But I have an idea in my head and we will see how we get on with that. So how is everybody today? I'm still, as you can hear, my husband had this sort of bug that he had a bad throat and had cough, and I think I'm catching that. My daughter has pneumonia, so that's been confirmed. Unfortunately, we cannot get antibiotics down here, so it's all proving to be quite a drama. Hi, Dominique. Yeah, so they gave her medication, but she said it was burning her throat. It did taste foul, I have to say. My husband and I both tried it so that we could go, oh, it's not too bad. And it was awful. And now we're trying to teach her to swallow tablets. So she should actually finish her antibiotics. But at the minute, we've not started yet. So it's all proving very dramatic. So it's lovely to have a bit of time in the craft room. So anyway, without further ado, shall we just get started? I'm sorry I keep looking up like this. It always feels so rude. But that's where your comments are. And that's where you are. It's so lovely to have you all here. I will try and do the swizz round without showing you the dramatic, awful face. Oh, now that's a little bit disconcerting. Oh, it's all right. Oh, there we go. Do. Let's get some light on the matter. There we go. And there was light. Wendy's good. Excellent. Hello, Handmade by Abigail. Lovely to have you with us. Right, so let's put that keyboard out of the way. My plan is probably slightly ambitious. I will show you. Oh dear, let's get a bit closer. Hello there, we don't see the desk being quite so messy. Right, so as I was roaming Pinterest, as one does if one is a crafter, I saw this. Now this obviously is digital art, and we are not doing digital art today. We're doing physical art, so we are not going to be able to achieve this. But I really like the glowy look, and obviously we've just brought out dragons. Thank you. I'm glad that you like my keyboard. I love it too. When I got my studio, I asked for that keyboard, and my husband's like, oh, you want? And I was like, no, I want one that lights up. It makes me very happy. So I'm attempting to create something like this. I have pulled out some metallic watercolour paints, which are already sort of swooshed and activated. I have some gel pens and my Prisma pencils, and we'll see if we can do something. Let's hopefully we do something anyway. So it'll be similar. I can show you. We did a page before. So that page there was similar to what I'm thinking. So we'll probably use similar techniques with that, but let's get both of these out and we'll see if we can manage a double page spread using the gorgeous new dragons. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to start off with this one. Right, okay, I have to ask. I know you shouldn't have favourites, but I have to ask, which is everyone's favourite dragon? They don't actually have names either. So we've got Dragon's Breath, Dragon Dreams, Dragon Fruit, and Dragon Blossoms. This one has been the most popular. I've only got 2 of these left. My favourites are probably this one and Dragon Fruit. But I'm interested to know what everybody's favourite is. Let's have a little look. Right, so my plan is, first of all, that we shall stamp. The stamp goes this way. Now, yes. I need my VersaFine Clear because I basically want to create a dragon's breath but only by a whisker. Ooh, you love dragon block. Ooh, excellent. I can't wait. Oh, I'm honestly loving seeing your make. Sorry, that was probably really loud in the microphone. I am loving seeing what you're all making. I am sipping tea slowly here, but Dragon Blossom has been the most popular. I have to say that is the one. I mean, they're all sort of going at an even rate. There's literally just a couple of each of the designs left. I think Dragon Blossom's only 2 and the others are like between 3 and 4, depending on, I can't remember which one. So they're quite even Stevens, but Dragon Blossom has definitely been the favourite. Right, so I'm going to stamp this one here. And just put even pressure everywhere. I know I need something, and the trouble is I'm down in the studio. All I've got is half a cup of tea, which will go cold, but we will go as best we can. Ta-da! So I appreciate you can't see anything just yet. I'm thinking what I'll do is we'll do the Dragon's Breath, and then depending on how we make it look, I might bring in some of the clouds from Dragon Dreams. Hello, is it Shiamara? Is that how you pronounce your name? I'm not sure, it's just that I've got a friend called Shemshia and she has 2 X's in her name, which is why I'm asking. So if I got that right, saying it's Shiamara, or am I completely off the ball? Off the mark, off the ball. Right, let's have a bit of Dragon Breath coming across the second page. We will start to see something soon. I promise. Just have to trust me that there is stuff happening on the page right now. I'm sorry. We will do that. I may have to text my husband and say, bring soothers. But we'll maybe add little breath bits once I'm aware of what's occurring a bit more. As I say, I will try my best. If it gets that I really can't speak at all, I will have to end it and finish off the video as a YouTube video or something. But we'll see how we go. Right. I have some clear embossing powder. Sorry guys, I realise this is probably not very pleasant to listen to someone choking away. Sorry, I'm just going to message hubby and see if there's any chance of him bringing the soother down. Sorry, we messaged him last week as well, didn't he? Excuse me for a second. Any chance of you bringing some throat sweets to the studio? Thank you. Sorry guys, I'm just going to rest my voice a second, but stuff will be occurring here. Talk amongst yourselves. See, now we can see stuff. That will happen for a little minute and then it will disappear again. Sorry, anyone tunes in, it'll seem really boring live. Oh, with me not talking. You just throwing embossing powder everywhere. Not ideal. Whoops. Making a pig's ear. I think the 6 weeks of not sleeping properly is taking its toll. I got it right! Yay! Thank you. Thank you, Shiamara. I'm glad I got it right. Right. Oh, he's come to the rescue again. Thank you. There we go. I'm sorry, but I think the sound of me sort of sucking on a sweet is probably better than the sound of me choking. Right. Trouble is, as this heats, it's going to dissipate again, but once we get to the next stage, the colour should start staying on the page and we can see what we're doing constantly. Oh, thank you. These are my new limited edition stamps. I love them. I'm so excited because the last time we did limited edition stamps, they went, so they never got used in lives and things, but the fact that they've kind of just about survived has given me a chance to play with them with you all. Okay, so I've just done a swatch out. It's my favourite journal for doing swatches. This is the Dina Wakley one, but it's got black and cream pages to get, so it's quite good for comparisons. Obviously we're working on black. So, let's have a look at this reference picture again. So it's got kind of bluey, purpley tones. So I think we'll maybe go for something like that in the shadow areas and then sort of build it up. So we've got this one here that would maybe work. And then we could bring it out into silver in the brighter area. So we'll maybe go with this, and we've got that one there. So let's see how we get on. So this is Derwent metallic paint pan pocket set. And it's this colour, ooh, we can't see that, this colour here that I think we're going to go for. So let's see how we get on. I'm trying to do an even amount of sucking and talking. You love the dragons, you have to play with them instantly. You also have this stamp set. So who's going to be brave and try colouring on black after this? Right. So, now the advantage of having embossed it is it'll sort of stay within the lines, if that makes sense. I'm going to start slow and build up. So there was sort of like a main colour in the reference picture and it goes into a teal. So we'll just get a little bit of colour down. I don't mind if it goes too far sort of out with. Because this, once it dries, we will see this on the page a little bit more, because I think it'll give it a sort of like smoky, dreamy look if we have a little bit of the metallic splashing out with. Sorry, I feel like I have chosen something to do with you all that you can't actually really see, which is not ideal, so hopefully it's still interesting. See, this is when I find the difference between lives and doing YouTube videos, because on YouTube videos I'd have this all done, I'd show you, but I'd have it all done fairly fast and sped up. so that it moved on to quite quickly. You can just about see colour appearing as it's drying. So it moved on quite quickly into something that you could see. I'm just putting it in various areas because I almost don't want to fill it up. I want it to look like it's glowing. So to do that, I need to leave a little bit of black. You enjoyed it being on black cardstock, Wendy, thank you. Let's see, we have done something. It's not something that I do very often, but if you have watched any of my recent YouTube videos on both my ones that was talking about goals and my ones about increasing your creativity, I am definitely trying to use different techniques. I used to be really good at using lots of different techniques and lots of different mediums, and then I sort of stopped and got into a rut. So we're trying to change that, and we're trying to do things a bit different, and hopefully that means tuning in will be a bit more interesting than it has been in the past, because we'll be getting a variety of ideas and styles and techniques rather than the same old thing of me either colouring with my Copic markers or creating a page with my Bitbox. So that's kind of, I mean, I enjoy doing that, and I will still do videos like that, but hopefully we'll have a bit more variety. So we've got, it's beginning to get something. I'm going to give that a waft. Now I'm going to have to be careful because I've embossed. I don't want to go too close and overheat the embossing too much. But we're beginning to get a bit of a glow, which is quite nice. I'm just sort of trying to dry it off a little bit so that we can build up the layers. Okay, I'm just wondering if I put you to this angle for a little while. Hang on. If we can see what's going on a bit better. If you want me to switch back, then let me know. I can do that. Right, let's try. I'm just going to use, we've been using that one, so I'm just going to use this one because in that picture again it sort of had the brighter green elements too. So let's bring in some of this. It also, oh wow, it also had little pink glows and things, but I think what we'll do is we'll build up these greeny bits first with the paints and the pencils, and then we can start adding the extra hues, extra different hues to get the similar look. Obviously we'll be going for pink and stuff for the flames. Sorry to have gone quiet. I am taking the chance to try and soothe the old throat a little bit. We'll maybe have to go in with like white pen to get the eyes and stuff like that. What has everybody been up to today? I have literally spent my entire day trying to get my daughter to take a tablet. She's quite confident in swallowing a Tic Tac down, and honestly the tablet is not that much bigger than the Tic Tac, but she's just got a mental block about it now. So that has been my day. I also was very brave and sent an email out to somebody that I'd quite like to collaborate with. I expect it to be a no, but you know, I sent it out anyway. I think that's the sum total of everything I've got done today. So doing techniques like this, it is a case of trusting the process and just knowing that you'll get there eventually. It's not going to be looking overly brilliant at the minute. Don't expect it to. Yeah. You've been learning how to make a rug in a Spanish ladies group. Oh, that sounds fun. Right, I'm just going to bring this back in again. Let's go back to... I'm just going to have a look at my reference picture again. I'm just trying to think about what colour to make the belly. So I've actually gone in with quite a bit of that green, which the edge is actually more purple than green. So let's go for that sort of pinky purple for the belly and things then. So we will go for this one here, I think. It's beginning to show a bit of something. Not much of something, but a bit of something. You have to let me know which camera angle you prefer. The joys of working from home, I know. Well, I've not got much work at all done for a long time now because she's been ill since before Christmas. So 2 weeks before Christmas she was off school, and she's still off school, and I don't know when she gets back. So I have a Create and Craft launch in February, which I will have to go ahead and do. I've already booked all the train tickets and stuff, and I've got people working on it. But with regards to what products will now be coming after that, I don't know. Because I'm so far behind in my to-do list and there's lots of pressure. Yeah, I just don't know what is going to happen. I'm just going to have to get her better and then work that out. Reassess my plans for the year. I had great plans for the year. I was all very organised and very excited. I'm going to try and get a bit of pink onto here. We might have to get this on with pencils. And then, yeah. So once she's better, I think we'll then work out a plan of what we're going to do this year. But right now it's all up in the air. I think I did like the fact that the pink was on the edges, so I'm going to see if I can get it onto the spine a little bit. And then we can maybe have a gold for the horn. And then I think we need to start bringing in some pencil. I do quite like, I think we've got quite a glowy effect, so that's all good. I think it's kind of going in a direction that is something. So give it a little... Absolutely, family first. The products for February are gorgeous, thank you. Let's just say I might be all stealing all your ideas because right now I've done no prep. I'm glad you like them. I have to say, I'm very excited about the February ones. They're my two favourite things, amalgamated into one set. I will get back on track, but it might just be much later in the year because it takes products so much time to sort of get from concept to finished thing that it might just have to wait. It's starting to look great. Thank you. It's getting there, isn't it? And so far, we've not need to mix our mediums. I mean, I am planning on bringing in some of the pens and the pencils, but it's getting there on its own, I think. As I say, it's a very different style for me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how to get there. to achieve what I'm trying to do. I'm just learning. We're all learning together. I think that's going to be my thing for this year. We're all just going to learn together. Because I am definitely not an expert in this. I'm not an expert in watercolouring or all the different things that I want to do this year. I'm not an expert at all. So I'm hoping that we can all just sort of learn together and have fun in the process. Has anybody got ideas of what they want to learn this year? What are you wanting to do creatively? Thinking once I've got the dragon down, I might actually just do splashes of these various colours just to sort of bring it all together. I'm thinking that we need a little bit of gold. That I might bring a little bit of gold up in the wings and also the horns. Right, let's get this back again. Have a look at the golds. I think maybe this one, nice soft one too. So that's this one here. How many of you here have got the dragons? That would be interesting to know. So, it's okay if you don't. Because never feel that you have to have the image that's being used. So when you watch people do things and you watch videos and things, or you see people's ideas and think, oh, I'd like to try that. You don't need the exact image. You can just use the techniques or a product that's similar. Like if you don't have these paints but you have something that's metallic, just use the metallic stuff you've got. You can still sort of take techniques and ideas and blend them to suit your particular stash. Out of nosiness, I'm just nosying to see who has got the drag. Oh, I like it with a touch of gold in. On the way they stopped for a holiday in Madrid. You have 2 of them. You've just bought your first watercolour set. Excellent. How are you getting on with your new watercolours? So I'm only bringing out so many different watercolours because I have them. Because sometimes I think part of the obsession with crafting is buying. It's its own buying craft stash that has its own unique place and it's its own unique hobby. Right, so mix the gold into that. Let's get a little bit in the wee horns up here. You've got this particular dragon and blossom. Lovely. I'll have to show you my original, the wee dragon that inspired this range. I hadn't planned to put gold there, but I'm just seeing it now and thinking, why not? Full set syndrome. Absolutely. I'm terrible when it comes to like colours. When I see a new product, a new colouring product, I just want every colour. And the terrible thing about that is actually I'm quite familiar with colour theory. And I do know how to mix all the colours from just the 3 primary colours. And yet I still find myself needing every single colour in the set. I'm going to go back to that original colour now and fill in the front of his face. Her face, his face, her face. Maybe not the eye. I think the eye will be going in with the gel pens to get it really striking. It's amazing. I love how metallic paint works on black. Metallic paint is such a cool thing because it honestly looks so different between black and white. It's really quite striking on the black, but it's this sort of wonderful pearlescent colour on white. I'm just going to stick a little bit of something down here, just so she sat on something. Because actually I think we might just have the dragon and then some splatters round about and a sentiment. I don't think it's going to need a lot. Okay, we'll waft that dry, and then I think we'll try some pens. See what occurs when we start using the pens. I'm just going to unwrap myself another sweetie. That's what we're eating today. It's definitely much better. You're quite happy with it, how it's going. You're just getting the right balance of colour, water and blends. Yeah, it takes practice. As I said, I am definitely not an expert. I am going to be doing just some experimenting on my own. I also plan to do a couple of, there's a couple of watercolour artists that have a Patreon. Jess Carp, I love her stuff. So I might join her Patreon for a while to take some of her classes. And I also want to do some in Skillshare. And as I've said, my goal is also to do an in-person watercolour class at some point. Yeah, I love the fact it looks quite ethereal. I think particularly with the fact that it is such a fantasy world type thing, that works really well. Right. Let's bring in some of these and hope that we don't ruin it. So I've got these pens, and I've also got my Spica pens, which are glitter pens, so we can see how we go on. Now, this is a metallic one. I'm going to try the pink. Let's see what happens with me. Thank you. See if this does anything. That colour's making any difference whatsoever. That would be because it doesn't seem to be working. So let's bring in, right. I'm going to use a very slight, there's not much water on this, it's just ever so slightly damp. Just to sort of blend that in a little bit. It's definitely adding a brightness. I think for the back of the dragon that I may have to use some pencils, I think. I'm not going to add the extra detail to the wings. I quite like the wings as they are. I might bring in white on the wings. I think if we could get some sort of swirls into the dragon, that would be quite good. Yeah, to be honest, these pens are normally quite good. Although that could be a particularly old one, because I did have some years ago. I've gone through a bit of a journey with my Sakura pens. I bought a whole load of them years ago when crafting was on the likes of QVC. And then I discovered Copic markers and colouring with alcohol markers, and that became my love and passion. And so I thought, I'm never going to use these pens again. I don't really like the effect it gives when it's colouring. I prefer the blended look that I can achieve with my alcohol markers. And then I watched Louise Sims on Telebox quite a lot and loved what she did with the pens, so started reinvesting in them. But I think some of the very original ones that are probably very, very old are in amongst them, which doesn't really help the situation much. That's definitely made those pink bits pop quite a bit. And we could do that in the flame as well, but let's bring some darker colours in the flame. We're getting the glowy look by adding, so this is adding like a fluorescent colour, and it's definitely sort of adding that glowy look. So the thing with these pens, you tend to find if you go slower, you allow more of the paint to come out of the nib. So sometimes you can be going too fast with them as well. So the slower you're going, the more sort of ink is coming out. I'm saying paint because they feel like a paint pen, but I'm not quite sure whether it is a paint colour, whether it's a paint or whether it's an ink. Who's your favourite Copic colourer on YouTube? Oh, I don't know on YouTube. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of alcohol markers on YouTube. Elise from Kit and Clouder is where I learned my main colouring from. I'm just trying to think. There's Claire's colouring. She does quite a lot of colouring with alcohol markers. And then there's, she's not on YouTube, but I'm trying to think of her second name, Amy somebody or other. She does a lot of, she kind of designs her own stamps as well as it's Sweet November stamps. And she builds up a lot of scenes with her colouring and her stamps. I really like that. The main people I currently watch on YouTube a lot are Sarah Rennie Clark, but she's more pencils. I think I watch other people a bit more because I'm fairly confident with the alcohol markers. So Sarah Rennie Clark I watch quite a bit, and Jess Carp for watercolours. As well. And is it Erit? I can't quite pronounce her name. She's an intuitive artist. I quite like watching her stuff as well. Oh, Angelica, I'm so pleased. I cannot wait to see everyone that has them. I'm sorry that I'm like rolling a sweetie in my mouth. I feel very rude. I'm sure it doesn't sound overly pleasant, but I think it sounds more pleasant than the coughing. I'm so pleased that you're all getting them. Please do share anything that you make in the group. I would absolutely love to see. And put a little bit of yellow. Let's be brave. Put a bit of a yellow in the middle here. I don't know if that's done anything whatsoever. Right, I'm going to bring a little bit of yellow on the horns, and then I'm going to see how that looks, and if it looks like it's added an extra bit of warmth, I will maybe do it to the wings. My paintbrush is splitting, not splitting, but it's not keeping its point. These bright colours seem a little bit scary, but once you sort of blend them in with the iridescent, they just sort of help to add a pop or a glow to them. Now, I'm just trying to see if I've got any lime greens. I'm just wondering what this green will do to the blue. If I hate it, we can take it off. Actually, that works quite well. I'm actually thinking we might not need to get the pencils out. I'm going to go a bit, as I said, I'm going to go a bit slower, like I said before, because that way you get a little bit more of the colour out. But it was that sort of glowy look that I really liked. And I think having the contrast of the neon with the iridescent seems to be really helping with that. The first alcohol These are gel pens, yes. They are Jelly Roll pens by Sakura. And we've also used metallic paint as well first. So the first person you watched was Nikki. Yes, Nikki's a very good colourist. I started my design team journey with Nikki and Polka Doodles. Once upon a time I was a Polka Doodles girl. Is everyone seeing the difference once we add the neon? Are you liking that? Is it working? And then I'm thinking I might just use a white gel pen to add swirls and things. I think I'm kind of achieving what I had in my head. It was that sort of like the glow. That I was trying to achieve. And I don't think you quite get it with the iridescent paints on their own. But I'm hoping with the combination of the metallic and the neon is giving the look that we are going from. I think I quite like it. It's a very slow process, so I'm hoping it's not too boring watching it. Watching a very slow process and listening to my squeaky voice. Well done everyone for sticking with it. I might in some areas, like here, I feel like it's gone straight from the neon into the black. There's not much of a transition, so I might go back with some of the metallic paint just in here. But other than that, I think we're doing all right. You're hearing a little twinkle there, that would be the cat. She has a bell on her collar, mostly because she's very, very good at catching mice and birds, and we want to give them a fighting chance. I almost wish I hadn't done that leg now. It feels out of balance. So, just bring the balance back. I think we need a bit of green this side. And bring that in. And then, as I said, if we add some more metallic paints into this gap here, hopefully that will bring it back. You're rewatching The Hobbit and you think Smag, is that how you say it, would look good in neon? Absolutely. I was loving it, now I'm not liking this bit here. Oops, too much water. So let's bring in, we're using this paint to start off with, let's bring in this paint again. See if I can just knock this bit back again. Too much water. I'm panicking and I'm putting too much water down. We had a small black cat that didn't manage to catch birds. She used to bring me worms. Believe me, I would prefer worms. We had a mouse living with us for over a week. Tell ya, the birds she kills, Mice, you just use them as toys. They just come in and become little play companions, and one of them managed to escape into my daughter's room, and it took us a week to catch the thing. It was so tiny that it would go in and out the traps. It would even leave little poos at the entrance of the traps just to announce it had been there. But wouldn't trigger it. So in the end we had to wait at the accumulating traps. And then we take them up to the forest. In the end we had to sort of weight down the trigger with some pound coins to try and make sure that it just took the slightest touch. So eventually we caught it and we took it up to the forest. Gave it a new home. But oh, it was a nightmare to catch. You think you need to buy some watercolour paints? Try to use them. Bring it into my art journal. Yeah, absolutely. This is my art journal. I quite like a deconstructed journal because you can sort of take things out of the page and have a little play. But I think absolutely, as you can see, they work brilliantly on a journal. So, sorry guys, I'm so aware that my voice is not pleasant at the minute. Right, I'll just bring some more of this. I'm going to bring some paint in here because you can barely see the front of his face. It goes from a he to a she quite regularly. Haven't decided. Is it a boy or a girl? That's the thing with these stamps though, they could be anything, couldn't you? Could do with a really good gold pen, I think, for adding swirls, but I'm not sure if I've got one. Sorry, it's very quiet. Okay, we need to address the eye because it looks a bit strange. Sorry guys. You tend to think of them as boys. Let me have a look at the packaging. How did I colour it? Okay, so this bit still had a bit of colour, so just less. And so we'll try this blue. And then I think I might need metallic pencils to do the actual eyeball. Getting there. I do feel like it needs an eye. It's beginning to look quite creepy without an eye. Don't know what metallic pencils are in here. We'll have a look. You must admit you thought of all of them as boys. Right, so we've got a silver and a gold. I do have metallic pencils in another thing, it's just that I'll have to rummage for them a bit. They're not particularly metallic, but we can maybe make them work. Okay. That's showing up beautifully for me, but not so much for you guys. And we need a white. Okay. So this bit needs to have a white. Yeah. That bit needs to have a white. Okay, and then just so that it matches in, I'm just going to give the eyeball a bit of a colour with the black paint. So I'm thinking now, if we get a nice sharp point on some of these pencils. Sorry, I'm just going to sharpen a pencil here. Highly recommend this pencil sharpener, by the way. Look at that. Right. And then, if we sort of add so sharp it broke. Add some swirls in. They're not showing up too much, but we will address that in a moment. I'm just going to put the swirls in. This sort of mimics the idea that we had on that demo one with the sort of patterns within it. Okay, then I'm going to try and get this green. It's not quite as bright as the other green that we were using. Add that in. Okay. It will all come to life in a minute, I promise. Okay, and now we get the white. Hopefully that is where the magic should happen. So now between that, the blue and the green that I've just done, if I add little bits of white, it should, it's not showing up on camera very well, but it's working on the page. And now we're just going to do my usual and try and get as much white doodling onto this as I can. It's not liking this paint for some reason. Come on. It's funny, sometimes it just doesn't want to go on certain. Seems to be fine over the markers. It's not like in the watercolour paint quite so much. We'll just be patient. But even adding the white should help again to... Oh, it's been lovely to have you, Abigail. Hopefully that should just be... Yeah, definitely. It's amazing the difference a touch of white can make to a project. It suddenly just takes it from one level to a complete other level. Never forget your whites. Look at that. It's just brought that glow look to a whole new level. I think we'll just be colouring today. I'm not quite sure whether we'll manage what we'll do with the page. I'm thinking... That's alright, it's been lovely to have you. I look forward to seeing all the colouring on black. I'm hoping we're going to see lots of it. don't know, I've taken to giving little characters 3 white dots. Do you know, I used to always do that years ago, and then I stopped doing it for a long time, and now it seems to be a new favourite thing again. It's like I've rediscovered it. Some little teeth. Oh, back to it being a her again. There's no colour of the mouth, so we'll do a bit of a white tongue there. Okay. Do some dots in the wings, make them look sparkly, like so. I like it. Definitely getting there. I'm quite happy with that. Let's have a look. Let's have a see. What do we think? Right, so there was the inspiration. It's not quite as glowy, but I think we're considering, as I said, this is digital. Considering we're using physical products, it's not too bad at all. I think by the time we add a little bit of watercolour just around about it and a few splatters, we'll have created quite an ethereal look. So we'll add a bit of pink into the mouth, because right now it's just sort of floating about. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's get these blues and silvers and almost create, that is my thing that I need to work on with watercolours, is I have this tendency to just use way too much water. Just want to add sort of like strange mistiness. Add a bit of silver in there. Thank you, Tracy. Just going to do some just round about it, almost like the shadowing that we normally do, but just a bit more swooshy. That a word? Swooshy. And then what I might do as well is just to even out, we'll bring a few swooshiness bits over here. Hopefully something else similar happened to earlier, that it doesn't look like anything was there, then all of a sudden it dried and it's like, woohoo, masterpiece. As you can see, there's not much skill involved here. I'm not doing anything overly interesting. I am just literally dabbing paint and hoping for the best. And then I think, just as a final touch, I might just bring out some souffle. Right, let's dry that in the hopes that all of a sudden what lurks beneath it is something that is highly beautiful and inspiring. I'm just thinking that like really soft ethereal clouds. Oh, we've reached 100 messages again today. That's good. Means we're all enjoying a wee chin wag together, which is what I love to see. To be honest, I wouldn't necessarily force dry like this. Oh, see, I quite like that. I think we've got quite a loose now. What if I bring in, I'm just going to try and bring in my white pen. I realise that looks horrific right now. Bear with, bear with. Just going to try and catch the edges of some of these cloud parts. Make them more definite, sort of cloudy shapes. Some of the edges of where the paint is sort of naturally fallen. Just put put my pen through water there. That's never the best idea, especially with these pens. Right, I'm going to take an almost, this is a very damp brush. It's not wet at all. I'm just going to pick up that paint and just move it slightly. And hopefully we'll get sort of like little glowy edges. We can always put some paint behind it again. Do dragon outline in the clouds? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I might try that for another day. Because I'd have to stamp it and all that again. But yeah, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? You could do this sort of technique here with the sleeping dragon. So that might be something I can have a play with for a video sometime. Is we could do something like that with that and then have the outline sort of glowy. So it almost looked like he was part of a cloud. I'm just going to say, just moving this just so that it gives a slightly more definite edge to those clouds, but we still have that sort of soft, loose look. It's just a bit too straight for me here. Oops, too much water again. There we go. Let's see if we can just bring one of those clouds across the page. Just so we sort of marry it together a little bit. Let's just bring, we'll get back to doing an outline there as well in a minute. It looks like thunder in the clouds, thunder. Oh, I do like that. That's turned out quite good, hasn't it? Quite impressed with that. Who knew? Who knew? This is not something I've ever done before. We're learning together. Right, let's see if we can sort of emulate that sort of cloudy shape. I'm liking this. I am a happy bunny. A silver on there. Once that's dry, we'll do the same. We'll add a bit of the white. Almost could have been the sleeping dragon, couldn't it? Because that could be his little cloud here at the bottom. Just realised that he has no claws. It's back to being a he again. Right, let's get some gold in there into the little claw things. Hopefully that just a wee bit of paint in there will just be enough to stop it looking so weird, but without having to spend ages perfecting it all. I don't think it really matters too much. Okay, let's add the white to these ones so that we have our cool cloudy effect going on. Now what a surprise! We've ended up with me doing a art journal page that contains clouds. So much for me saying that I was breaking from tradition and not doing the same thing over and over. There's still clouds. There's not an alcohol marker in sight though, so you know that's something. Right. Trying to get and let's do the same on these ones here. So we've got the same sort of look. Thank you, Sharon. Just moving it along. I'm quite pleased. I did not know what I was going to be doing tonight. I felt very, I was a bit unprepped. That's not unprepared. But it's turned out all right, hasn't it? Not bad. And this is why, sorry to be banging on. Don't know if anyone's watched my video that I did. Well, actually, I put it up last night, took it down because something had happened with the way I exported it, which made the quality of it dreadful, and then put it back up. So I was quite nervous about doing that because I sort of like totally messed with the algorithm. So I'm hoping it'll pick up. But I was talking about creativity, and part of one of the tips that I gave was to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. This is definitely pushing myself outside my comfort zone. I do not colour on black very often at all. It's not something I'm comfortable with. It's not products that I am used to using. And yet, look, now I'm loving it, but I feel that the fire is quite, everything else is really glowy, and that's quite, so I feel like we need a bit more glow to this. So let's have a look at our paints again and see what would maybe give the fire a bit more glow. Maybe this one down here, and then a bit of the second gold. Okay, so that one down. Okay, I just feel, even if it's really loose, that this, do you know what I mean? I don't know if I can describe what I'm trying to say. I just feel like everything's sort of very loose and ethereal, and this is very sort of stuck, and fire has movement to it as well, isn't it? So yes, I agree, yellow. I did try and put some in, but it's got a bit lost. So I think maybe if we try and just sort of do this, hopefully once that's dried, that'll help to, we can do some splatters as well. And then maybe a bit of the copper and the gold, just sort of rounding about. Might just help to, I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not finding the words. We can try adding some actual yellow into the flame as well. But I agree, it's needing something just to lift it a bit. I mean, I am planning on doing splatters, which hopefully should help. Trouble is you have to keep drying it in between, because you don't see the colour until it's dry, so you don't know if you've put too much or too little on at all. Just feel the fire needs a bit more movement. I did try putting the yellow pen in. We can try that again. If that doesn't work, we could maybe pull out a yellow pencil. You all still happy for me to carry on playing? We have been on for over an hour now, which is kind of painful, seeing as I've basically been sucking away cough sweets and coughing in your ear and just very slowly colouring in. I think what we could do as well is we could make with some of these pens as well, just round about the outside. Do you know what I mean? If we like get some little sort of marks and dots. Around about it. Just feel like it needs a lot more movement. I think it'll be fine in a normal picture. Yeah, that's definitely, I think now that we've created a bit of a glow, a little bit of movement, I think that's probably much better. Definitely happier with that. Thank you for the suggestion of yellow. That's definitely picked it up a little bit. Go quiet again because I'm concentrating. Yeah, that's much better. See what I mean? It's now got a bit more movement. So I think I am going to add some splatters. I'm going to do some green and maybe some gold, just sort of all over the place. Oops, contaminating my paints there. So I've got green, got gold, maybe the pale gold, or maybe this green gold. Except I've made little splitters over there. It's fine, it can look like sideways rain. I like it. Now people. Question is, what I would normally do now, I actually don't even want to put a sentiment on it. I really am happy with it as it is, so I'm not even going to bother putting a sentiment on it. I'm just wondering whether I should do a white squiggly border with a gel pen before I put it back in the journal. But I think, oh, do you know, now I'm suddenly wondering whether I should actually draw swirls into the clouds. You know, like we drew swirls into the dragon. Should we have a couple of, or should we just leave as is? My goodness, I'll be here to midnight at this rate. No. Wendy says no to the edge. That is definitely going outside my comfort zone, Wendy. Everything has an edge. Julie says no as well. Okay. In which case I might just leave. I'm just trying to dry it off in little bits so you can kind of see how the splatters look. Because they do look completely different when they're dry, but it's probably best to leave that. Right, okay, I'm leaving it, everybody. Thank you. Right, well that is it. Let me have a put that in the. Put that. Where's the actual? Where did my journal go? Right. Is this it down here? Thank you. Right, so we're going to leave it as is. Thank you, everybody. This is why I love being on a live, because I get so much advice from you all. You're all very talented. Right, I'm just going to try and pick those bits up there. That is so different to anything I've ever created. I mean, we did do colouring there, but with similar techniques, actually. I think we used like gesso and we used the gel pens, and that looks much more vibrant. This is really soft and ethereal. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I will date it. I might have to find a pen today. Do date your journals. I have to say, I used to, years ago, date my journals, and then I got out of the habit of it, and it really annoys me that some of my more recent journals don't have dates, but it helps you to see the progress where you made. So afterwards, I will decide what colour I can sort of discreetly date it with. And there we go. That is our ethereal dragon in situ. So thank you ever so much. Hope I will be about. If I'm not about and commenting as quickly on all of your stuff, I am sorry. As I said, life is rather interesting at the minute. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm about to go back up to the house, find out if my daughter has actually managed to learn how to swallow a tablet, because yeah, until she does, she's not getting better. So we will see how it goes. So thank you ever so much for joining me. It's been lots of fun. I think I definitely want to experiment with this a bit more and have a play and learn. So thank you for learning with me. Thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you. And I will see you again very, very soon. Let me see if I can get my mouse to work. There we go. So thank you ever so much. Bye.